Whew. Hey, what's up, y'all? My name is Sam, and today I wanted to introduce this docu-series called How We Did It, or Howdy, whatever you want to call it. In this series, I'll be interviewing key project members to showcase what really goes behind creating a music video. It's always been a dream of mine to be able to take everything that I've learned as an artist in the past 7 years and turn it into a story with tangible information that people like you and I can learn from. So, without further ado, let's dive on in.
You can't overthink it.
The sky's the limit.
I know I'm on the right path.
I don't know where it's going to take me at the end.
Nothing is ever going to go precisely how you plan it.
A lot of times limitations create the opportunity to make something different.
So it was kind of crazy how this all started with a simple conversation. Randomly went to Publix, ran into James there, and we started chopping it up about what we've been up to. Sam's name came across the table from that conversation of like me telling him how it is to work with Sam. James told me like, yo, I'm gonna hit him up when we ended the conversation. And then like a week later, some shit happens. And that's when he's like actually hitting up Sam and like planning this entire process.
I guess my first reaction was like, this is cool. I know Keyshawn said he met him in a club somewhere. And the first thing that I thought when I listened to the song was like, yeah, I'm doing this. I don't care what the budget is. This gotta happen.
I set up the first meeting at the end of October. So after that meeting ended, all I could think about was this different idea and this different idea and how that was gonna look.
That meeting was literally like the first step of a million others. I was supposed to be flying out to California with a client of mine literally in the next 2 days. And you had wanted to shoot within 2 weeks. I mean, I had a lot of anxiety.
We stayed cool, calm, and collected. I would have never known.
Nah. I knew that I could get it done, but the question was at what cost?
I did go to film school.
I went to film school.
I kind of went to film school.
I did not go to film school.
As a director, Sam worries about a lot of things, which are justified, but sometimes it can weigh down a little too much to the point where it stops you from creating something tangible.
Like we have to make choices with what we give our attention to, because like if I'm spending 3 minutes on this, I could easily spend 3 minutes on like something else that calls my attention.
You can't overthink it. That's what I always tell Sam.
What's something unique about your process or product that makes a film 444?
In the past, I would just go about it in more of a metric-oriented way. But now I feel like I've shifted more into the realm of really trying to develop a connection with people. And I think in and of itself, if we can focus more on the process of it, we can focus more on actually creating something that's better.
Whereas if I'm thinking about it process-wise, and I'm like, oh, the dopamine releases as part of the process, then that's the reward that I get in and of itself. And my body actually is tricked into wanting to do the process and wanting to do hard things. And that way I'm always consistent and never unmotivated.
Being objective-driven has helped me develop my process as an artist. While this might look different for everybody, I try to approach these situations very pragmatically. So I'll walk you through mine. First thing that happens is I receive a notification like I did from James. Before the meeting date, I'll usually mull over the song and any ideas I might have for it and take note of it. Once I've finished that up, I'll usually send a message over to the lead and say thanks for scheduling a meeting with me. I'm really looking forward to chatting with you. The day of the meeting comes, I'll gather my notes and close it because I like to start my meetings off by getting to know who I'm working with, understanding their vision, their art, and most importantly, why they reached out in the first place.
So we created an environment where we spent a lot of time getting to know each other a little bit, establishing a connection first and making sure we were on the same page before we started talking about logistics and specifics. Sam and I went to high school together, so we spent time catching up. He asked me about why I started making music, what I love about music. I'm really trying to get to know me as an artist, and then we dove into some of the songs that I had been working on, and I was able to explain the meaning behind them, how they pertain to my life. Anything to give Sam a better idea about me. That way, I understood that him and I were on the same page, that he understood the kind of image that I want to have and how I wanted to be portrayed. That way we could work together to put that vision together.
In James's case, it was pretty straightforward. We both really clicked and knew that we were a good fit. From there, I said thanks. I'm gonna sit on the information for a few days. Let me run some logistics for everything and I'll get back to you as soon as possible.
So right when Sam texted me, he told me, I got a friend from high school who made a song. I was like, another one of these. And then I heard the song and I heard it through my phone. I was like, wait, this is actually, I think this got something. Then we played it in the car. I'm like, yeah, this really got something. My name's Josiah McClements and I'm the producer. I asked Sam, when are you looking to shoot? And he said,
2 weeks.
In my mind, I knew that it was low-key a lot to ask for.
so I'm like, we really only have like 6 days to prepare for this. Knowing that he had a shoot in California and having to go to Iceland and having to cram all that in and still wanted to make this one of his like best shoots yet, he didn't sleep. I already know he didn't sleep.
I thought there was no way we're gonna shoot all of this.
Oh, I was just chilling. I was vibing.
Oh, I was anxious as hell.
But what helped me the most when I was dealing with that stress was staying organized. I've always watched movies, short films, and commercials very intently, just wondering in my head how they did it. To have a project so stylized and motifs clear throughout the execution of a plot, it clearly takes more than just having an idea in your head. And I think that's where you have to step outside of the confines of being an artist and step into the world of data management and analysis. We decided, okay, here are our non-negotiables. We need a roller rink, we want to shoot on film, we'll need a lot of lights, and we want to shoot on these lenses. And we know we need at least 20 different extras to fill out the space in the rink. On top of that, we need a crew to execute it smoothly. From there, I started punching numbers in, making phone calls, and trying to establish a general outline for the first day of shooting.
I'm very blessed to have a community around me that wants to see creative things put in place and wants to see them exponentially grow and become the biggest they can be. So I'm very blessed to have those type of people around me. So it didn't take too many strings to pull to get a lot of people to pull up on time.
I had the availability of all my crew members, the artist, our lead female actor, and we found a day that lined up with everyone.
Because I think a lot of the people I was hitting up was within a week of the shoot. So I'm just really blessed that I have good friends that were able to make that happen.
We reached out to the artist. He was good to go, so that left us with our next step, which was getting all of the other puzzle pieces to fall together. We went through about 6 different people trying to see if we could get an all-inclusive lighting and grip package, and just about every single one of them fell through.
Setbacks are never fun, but it's always expected. No matter what shoot you're gonna be on, nothing is ever gonna go precisely according to detail how you plan it. So you just gotta be, like I said before, you just gotta be ready to pivot and adapt.
A lot of times leading up to the production, things always seem to fall apart, no matter how much you plan. Whether it was availability or out of budget restrictions, we decided it would be best for our production to rent all the lights out on ShareGrid and utilize our extremely talented friend, Joshua.
So, what's your name?
Why is this the hardest question you've asked? My name is Josh. Some people call me Jay right now. Call me whatever you want. I don't care. She walks her dog day and night. That's all she does. My dogs have to envy that dog because I do not walk them nowhere near as much. So I guess like the communication between me and Sam was often, but it wasn't at like the forefront of like the video. Outside with their camera, and they say, "Oh, your stand's in my shot."
Yeah.
And it's like, no, it wouldn't be there if you would have checked with me.
Right.
But you know.
How about you?
Cheddar jalapeno. You asked me what I needed and what I thought would be good to get what you wanted out of it.
He's the dude. He literally like, he gave me so much free time when he had a busy schedule on his own because he's a designer and he had a lot of things going on for his company at that time. So shouts out to Larry.
Hey, I'm Larry Antwi. I'm a creative director and a stylist.
What were you and Larry doing on the side while I was...
Non-sus answers, all right. So Larry and I were in constant communication. Like, it kind of started off as like an 80s aesthetic, but then we kind of put some 90s elements into it, and we had a lot of ethnicity involved in it too, so it kind of made it feel like a new aged 80s retro feel, if that makes sense.
So this was my first time really delegating 90% of the responsibilities for a video. In the past, I've usually been a one-man army type of guy. So it was kind of really difficult for me to give up some of the creative control, but in exchange, I was able to focus a lot on the information that only I could really handle. But knowing Josiah and some of the projects we worked on together, I trusted him to help me put together a team to execute this.
Like Larry focused more on the women than I did. I was mostly just making sure that all the guys' fits turned out right.
So I actually have had experience styling a female in the past.
Just curious.
Not yet.
I wouldn't even know where to start.
Yeah, for me, that's like, and funny enough that you brought it up, because I like as I was talking, I was like, I actually have to think about this one, and it's something that I am trying to get into. But it's just like, how do I do it the right way? Because I don't want to come off like, oh, I just put this on a girl. Like you could have, you know what I mean?
I figured the woman stuff you've done is probably like streetwear stuff.
Exactly.
Anybody could wear.
Exactly. So it's like with this specifically, like you guys are really testing me to like really like make her look good, and not like in that like, oh, like streetwear look. You know what I mean?
Pauline was also a big help. She pulled a lot of the girl pieces that Larry wasn't able to find thrifting. So shouts out to Pauline. What's that Drake song where he said Pauline's the plug?
It was interesting because I have to make sure everyone is comfortable. And I think the first two people, you know, who had to be comfortable were the leads. So making sure, you know, whatever they were wearing was up to, you know, what they were even used to wearing, or just something that they felt comfortable wearing. I feel like you just have to be comfortable in it, or else you can't really act or move in that same degree. So I feel like that was something I had to make sure was communicated.
Every single day leading up to the shoot, I was on the phone, to the point where like my roommates are downstairs like in our loft and they hear me like calling like nonstop. Like right when the phone hangs up, I have another person calling me back. So it's like, oh, this is wardrobe, hang up, okay, I could breathe for a second. Nope, actually I gotta talk to the gaffer. Oh wait, Sam's in California, so he's on a different time zone, so I gotta stay up an extra 3 hours to make sure that we finalize everything before tomorrow.
A few days before the shoot, I had started to put together a call sheet. It had all of the information needed for people to know where to be, a general itinerary, addresses, and times. To break that down even further, for each individual crew member on my team, I had put together a list of things and equipment to go alongside their individual call sheets. So once I sent those out, I started building out the rigs that we were going to use on set.
So the days leading up to the shoot, I was both super nervous and super excited because of course I've never done this before.
I felt approaching the first shoot day that things are pretty organized. I've been on quite a few sets in my years, and I was very excited because I just felt like it was gonna be a great day.
I felt anxious because I realized that this production had a lot of prep time, a lot of moving parts, a lot of dedicated parts, and I just wanted to show up and do what I had to do.
So we had about 3 things that I've never used before: a 360 rig, a POV rig, and Super 8 film. So I called up Sarab and I said, yo, can you come over and help me build this stuff?
I got off work, I showed up, and we started building the rigs that we were gonna use for the shoot. Send it?
Yeah.
Sorry, say that again, sir.
It took about 2 hours to set everything up, but everything fell into place and I felt very content about it.
I think it was about 2 a.m. before I got to sleep. I ended up having to be up at 8 a.m. to go pick up rentals an hour and a half away from here. Thankfully, everything seemed to be falling into place once I got back home. I had checked in with James and he was super stoked, just ready to attack the day. I checked in with my crew and some of them had started arriving at my house and we were ready.
The first thing I did was check my phone to make sure that it really happened.
We did it. We captured that magic.
It was almost like a domino effect.
Things started to fall apart.
Even when we went hours over.
I wouldn't even have known he was panicking.
I'm about to throw fits. I'm gonna start recording.